Tell us, how did baby Tim start out and get to where he is today?
Baby Tim grew up in a business family, which I think has had a lot of influence on the work that I'm doing now. Although I had a very swervy pathway, I guess you could say, into entrepreneurship. So I went to pharmacy school right out of high school, direct entry program. I wish I had a great story of why pharmacy. I living in the academic world, working in admissions, I was always compelled by those very elaborate essays that talked about the passion of pharmacy or a family member that inspired their journey. And to be honest, I don't have that. I mean, I was really interested in science and math. I, like many 18-year-olds, were like, yeah, I probably should go to college, but what should I do? Looking for a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And I had guidance counselor said, hey, you should go to pharmacy school. And I said, all right,
Why
sounds
not?
good. My
What's the worst
parents
that could
thought that
happen?
was, yeah, my parents thought that was impressive. Hey, you're going to get a doctorate degree. You're going to make good money. Little did I know about kind of all that pharmacy could be. And also little did I know that the financial journey that would take me on for both good and some of the challenges as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from Ohio Northern University, go Polar Bears, in 2008 at the ripe age of 24, and did a year of residency at Ohio State. Really fell in love with more of the academic side of pharmacy,
Interesting.
and went right from residency into an academic role where I spent a little over a decade in a few different academic roles, some full-time on campus, some administration, some that was a little bit in the practice side of things as well. And as I now reflect back on it, I would really describe my academic time really as academic entrepreneurship. Now, those two words
Don't go together.
usually don't go together.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I constantly felt this sort of nagging feeling of like, am I in the right place? And what can we do? And what can we grow? And I eventually left academia in 2021 to work full time on the business that I'm working on now, although that had been a journey really dating back to 2015. And that really started from the financial wellness side of things. When I graduated again at the ripe age of 24, I looked up and I said, hey, I'm finally making a great income. I knew that was going to happen. That's good news. Bad news is I didn't really understand what it was going to mean to try to pay off a couple $100,000 of student loan debt. And you and I both know that that's all too normal in our profession.
Yep.
And when I
Yep.
get the opportunity to speak with, pharmacists all across the country, and I throw out those big numbers, I never get an emotional reaction, right? Because everyone's like, yeah, that's me. That's me. And, I think for my wife and I in our journey, we've now got four boys that we're
Wow.
doing our best to raise as well. We said, hey, this income is really good, but it really only goes so far when, you're raising a family, you're trying to pay off student loans, we're trying to invest and save for the future, do
Mm-hmm.
all the things we know we're supposed to do. And long story short, we got to this very critical point in 2012. I had caught fire with learning about personal finance, reading a lot of books, listening to podcasts, and one book in particular, The Millionaire Next Door by Dr. Tom Stanley. He talks a lot about the research of those that are successful with their finances and building, wealth over time. And he talks about the importance of net worth, not income, but net worth really being the indicator, the true indicator of your financial health.
Interesting.
And I remember thinking, wait a minute, I've earned almost $500,000 of income, through the first 4-ish years of my career. And I've got a net worth of negative $225,000. This is
Yep.
not going in the direction that
Right.
it is. And
Yeah, it's a 4-year degree and 10 years of debt. And every year
exactly.
you look at that for your W-2, you're like, oh, but this is what I made this year, but this is what my net worth is, and it's negative triple that.
Yeah.
So yep, there's probably the visceral response that you're looking for in any type of when you announce that.
Mm-hmm. And I think anyone, now we're obviously in a very high inflationary period. Everyone knows the limitations of how far your income can go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that a lot of pharmacy graduates feel this. There's, maybe unintentional, maybe somewhat there, was used as the growth in pharmacy graduates and the growth of pharmacy schools happen. But there's definitely this feeling of like, hey, I'm going to make a great income. And then there's, the reality of, what does that mean long term, and how do I
Right.
stretch that income as far as it could go? And so